All four Korean wives had fled from Kang Ji-hoon's overwhelming physical endowment in terror and despair, unable to withstand the harsh reality of intimacy with the Korean Don. The rumors shadowed the mafia boss everywhere, transforming every moment of closeness into profound humiliation. But Aisha Okello, a Kenyan woman thrust into a forced marriage to rescue her family from ruin, refused to flee. She pierced through his defenses, mocked his ironclad control, and challenged him to cease dictating her boundaries. In a realm constructed entirely on intimidation, she embraced bold resistance. Welcome to Afro-Korean Stories TV, beasties. Please like, share, and subscribe for more gripping tales like this one. Aisha Okello stood in the registry office in Nairobi, her fingers shaking as she inscribed her signature on documents that would propel her across the globe to an unknown fate. The ink seemed to carry the weight of blood itself. Her mother sat beside her, eyes inflamed and puffy, gripping tightly the envelope of cash that had materialized just 3 days following her father's untimely burial. The debt enforcers had issued a merciless 2-week ultimatum. This marriage agreement had emerged as their sole lifeline. Aisha glanced at the photograph clipped to the paperwork. Kang Ji-hoon possessed piercing dark eyes, a chiseled jawline, and an aura of unyielding stone accompanied by absolute silence. She had never encountered him personally. She would wed him in precisely 6 days. "Mama," Aisha murmured in Swahili, her voice fracturing under the strain. "What if he proves to be ruthless?" Her mother clasped her hand with desperate strength, tears cascading down her lined face. "Then you endure, my daughter, just as we always have. Your brothers depend on your resilience." Aisha contemplated her 13-year-old brother Jamal and 10-year-old sibling Leo, their once sparkling eyes now dulled by gnawing hunger and relentless dread. She envisioned the school they would inevitably abandon, the dreams that would evaporate without this financial salvation. She grasped the pen once more and etched her name with finality. The flight to Seoul unfolded like a descent into an alternate reality. Aisha pressed her forehead against the chilled window, observing as clouds devoured Kenya entirely. She reflected on her younger brothers, on her mother's quivering expressions of gratitude, on the tuition fees that would now receive payment. She had bartered her very essence to secure their future. The term bride soured bitterly on her tongue. She functioned as mere merchandise, a resolution, a mere financial exchange cloaked in pristine white fabric. The passenger seated adjacent, a Korean executive returning homeward, detected her evident turmoil. "Your inaugural journey to Seoul?" she inquired warmly in English. Aisha nodded, her throat too constricted for speech. "It ranks as a stunning metropolis, chilly during this season, yet breathtaking nonetheless." The woman paused momentarily. "Are you visiting relatives or perhaps entering matrimony?" Aisha uttered. Getting married, the phrase feeling alien and detached. The woman's eyes expanded with astonishment and joy. "Oh, my heartfelt congratulations. A romance-fueled union, I presume." Aisha's laughter emerged hollow and forced. "An arranged union." Comprehension dawned across the woman's features. She retrieved a compact card from her handbag. "My niece endured a comparable ordeal. Should you require assistance or simply a confidant who comprehends, contact me. I am Mrs. Kim." Aisha accepted the card, moved by this unforeseen benevolence. "Thank you. I am Aisha." They conversed throughout the remainder of the flight regarding Seoul, Korean traditions, and the trials inherent in intercultural wedlock. Mrs. Kim imparted several elementary Korean expressions, coached her on executing the appropriate bow, and cautioned about the paramount significance of preserving dignity in Korean society. "Your spouse's kin will adhere to tradition." "Indeed," Aisha affirmed. "I possess no knowledge whatsoever about his family," she confessed. "Merely his name and photograph." Mrs. Kim's countenance grew shadowed with worry. "You have never conversed with him?" "Never," Aisha replied. The elder woman squeezed her hand reassuringly. "Then compel him to truly perceive you, Aisha. Ensure he recognizes you as an individual before all else. Korean gentlemen often remain stoic, particularly concerning sentiments, yet they retain hearts nonetheless." Incheon Airport manifested as a labyrinth of gleaming glass and unyielding steel. Aisha emerged into the arrivals area, clutching her solitary valise, her exhalations forming misty clouds in the alien chill. A man clad in a somber black suit displayed a placard bearing her name. He offered no smile. He uttered no words. He simply seized her luggage and motioned toward a polished black sedan idling curbside. Aisha trailed him, her pulse thundering within her chest. She had envisioned this juncture countless times. She had never foreseen the oppressive quietude. The drive into central Seoul stretched endlessly and suffocatingly. Aisha gazed outward at the bizarre urban panorama, skyscrapers and vibrant neon fusing into a haze. The chauffeur never glanced her way. She yearned to inquire their destination. She desired to demand clarifications. Yet her voice had vanished somewhere above the vast Indian Ocean. The vehicle halted before a towering edifice that appeared to lacerate the heavens. The driver swung open her door. Aisha alighted, her limbs unsteady, and tilted her head upward toward the structure that would serve as her confinement or residence. She could not yet discern which. The penthouse exuded frigidity. That marked the initial observation Aisha registered. It sprawled immensely and impeccably, featuring polished marble flooring and expansive floor-to-ceiling panes overlooking the sprawling cityscape. Yet it evoked the atmosphere of a mausoleum. A female attendant in grey attire materialized and indicated for Aisha to accompany her. She guided her along an elongated corridor to a chamber double the dimensions of her family's Nairobi abode. The attendant gestured toward the wardrobe, already stocked with garments Aisha had never laid eyes upon, then departed wordlessly. Aisha perched on the bed's edge and awaited. She extracted her mobile device and messaged her mother. "I have landed safely. The residence is enormous." Her mother's reply arrived swiftly. "Remain courageous, my child. You bear our affection with you always." Aisha permitted herself precisely 5 minutes for tears. Subsequently, she dried her cheeks, rose, and commenced surveying her novel enclosure. Hours elapsed. Dusk descended. Aisha donned one of the dresses from the armoire, a sleek black number that accentuated her form flawlessly. Someone had procured her precise measurements. Someone had orchestrated this meticulously. The awareness sent shivers across her skin. She roamed back to the principal living space, her bare feet noiseless upon the icy marble. The penthouse stood vacant. She located the kitchen, pristine and immaculate. She prepared tea with trembling hands, deciphering the Korean inscriptions on the electric kettle. She lingered solitary within a crystalline prison, and the proprietor had not deigned to even acknowledge her arrival. Fury supplanted trepidation. She had relinquished everything to occupy this space. The minimal courtesy he could extend involved revealing himself. Past midnight, the entrance door activated. Aisha sprang upright, her heart surging into her throat. Footfalls reverberated through the passage. Then he materialized. Kang Ji-hoon. He towered beyond her anticipations, attired in a shadowy bespoke suit that likely exceeded the totality of her father's debts in value. His visage remained impassive, his gaze keen and evaluative as it traversed her figure. He halted several paces distant, preserving a gulf like an impregnable bulwark. For an instant, they merely regarded one another. Aisha absorbed the angular contours of his features, the rigidity in his posture, the manner in which his fists alternately tightened and relaxed, as though yearning to extend but restrained. "You have arrived," he stated in English laced with accent. His timbre resonated deeply, restrained, yet she discerned an undercurrent, perhaps unease or apprehension. "Yes," Aisha responded. Her tone sounded diminutive, which she despised. She aligned her posture, elevating her chin. 6 hours passed. His mandible contracted at the veiled reproach. "Business detained me." "On the day your wife materializes," the retort escaped unbidden. His eyes ignited. Astonishment, ire, an indefinable element. "The ceremony occurs in 3 days. Instructions will follow. This household enforces rules. You shall obey them." Aisha's backbone stiffened anew. "Which regulations?" "You exit only with authorization. You address staff sparingly. You avoid my study and chambers. Your presence serves appearances exclusively. Nothing beyond." The declarations struck like lashes. Aisha sensed a scorching fury ascend within her bosom. "I reside here because my kin foundered in debt, because you procured a spouse akin to chattel." His gaze intensified momentarily. A flicker surfaced, anguish perhaps, or mortification. Then it vanished, supplanted by frost. "Thus we comprehend one another. This constitutes a pact, not a fairy tale." He pivoted to depart, but Aisha's voice halted him. "At minimum, confront me during your disparagement." He froze, his form taut. "You acquired a sentient being," Aisha pressed, her timbre quivering with indignation. "You conveyed me to this frigid, desolate expanse, yet cannot feign decorum. I forfeited home, liberty, prospects. Minimal decency demands you acknowledge my existence." He rotated gradually, and his demeanor had altered. The frost fractured, exposing something primal beneath. "You believe I desired this? You suppose I elected to embody the sort who must purchase companionship, because no female endures voluntarily." The admission suspended between them, unanticipated and shattering. "Then why proceed?" Aisha queried more tenderly. "Why pursue it?" His fists balled. "Exhaustion from solitude assails me. Because I harbored hope. Perhaps one ignorant of the tales might—" He ceased, his jaw grinding. "Irrelevant now." "It concerns me," Aisha countered. "I wedded you." He regarded her genuinely then, and she perceived the isolation in his eyes, mirroring her own desolation. "Retire," he concluded gruffly. "Tomorrow proves arduous." He retreated down the opposing corridor. Aisha heard a portal seal decisively. She remained solitary amid the expansive salon, fists clenched. She anticipated chilliness. She never foresaw such erasure, and she least expected mirrored suffering in his gaze. The subsequent morning, Aisha awakened to discover breakfast arranged meticulously on the dining table. Steaming rice, savory porridge, an array of banchan side dishes, and fragrant tea awaited her. She consumed the meal in solitude, the flavors exotic and unfamiliar upon her palate. Kang Ji-hoon had departed before dawn. The penthouse's silence pressed down oppressively, amplifying her isolation. Midway through the morning, a seamstress appeared bearing swatches of fabric and a measuring tape, chattering in rapid Korean that Aisha could scarcely comprehend. She endured the fitting for her wedding gown without voicing preferences, standing passively as pins pricked her skin, and adjustments shaped the material around her curves. Throughout the process, she recalled Mrs. Kim's counsel from the flight. "Compel him to perceive you." Once the seamstress departed, Aisha resolved firmly. She refused to fade into obscurity within this vast penthouse like a spectral figure. She would assert her presence vibrantly, audaciously, until acknowledgement became inevitable. She retreated to her chamber and selected athletic attire from the wardrobe, leggings that hugged her athletic frame, and a tank top revealing toned arms honed from years of dance in Nairobi's vibrant streets. Then she proceeded to the expansive living area, unfurled a yoga mat before the towering windows offering panoramic views of Seoul's skyline, and commenced her routine. Her body flowed through familiar asanas, each movement a deliberate act of defiance against the constraints he had imposed. Warrior poses stretched her limbs powerfully, balances tested her core strength, and deep forward folds showcased the suppleness she had cultivated before tragedy reshaped her life. A security guard patrolling the perimeter paused, his gaze lingering momentarily before he averted his eyes, flustered. Aisha maintained eye contact steadily until he retreated, a quiet triumph surging through her. "Excellent," she thought. "Let them all witness her refusal to be confined." When she concluded her session, rolling the mat precisely, a renewed sense of self enveloped her, the first since departing Kenya. That evening, she ventured into the kitchen once more, determined to infuse warmth into the sterile space. Cabinets revealed premium ingredients, yet the area bespoke infrequent use, more showroom than hearth. Aisha consulted her phone for a rudimentary Korean recipe, committing to bridge the cultural chasm despite her inexperience. She improvised bibimbap with vegetables, rice, and a makeshift gochujang sauce, the outcome imperfect but heartfelt. an earnest endeavor amid unfamiliar tools. She arranged 2 settings at the table, covered the dish to retain heat, and settled on the sofa with a Korean phrasebook recommended by Mrs. Kim, diligently practicing greetings and polite inquiries. Ji-hoon returned near midnight, his footsteps halting abruptly upon entering the living area. Aisha lifted her gaze from the book. He lingered in the threshold, tie askew, features inscrutable as his eyes traced her form, the open volume, and the prepared table where her creation cooled. "You prepared supper," he observed, the statement carrying a note of inquiry. "I attempted it," Aisha replied evenly, "likely subpar. Korean cuisine eludes me entirely." A subtle shift crossed his countenance, surprise perhaps mingled with reluctant approval. "Unnecessary effort on your part." "I desired to," she countered, closing the book deliberately. "Attempting adaptation to this environment, your customs." He contemplated her in prolonged silence, then, "The hour grows late, rest awaits." He pivoted toward retreat, but Aisha interjected once more. "Do you intend perpetual evasion throughout our union?" His shoulders rigidified. "Evasion does not describe it. Twice home since my arrival, both post-midnight, exchanges totaling scant minutes," she enumerated, rising to approach. "If this pattern persists, declare it outright. I require clarity on my circumstances." He confronted her, exhaustion etching his features, rendering him unexpectedly vulnerable. "Navigating this eludes me, cohabiting with one destined to depart." "Departure lies beyond my option," Aisha stated softly. "My family's welfare hinges on this bond. Thus, we share entrapment. Bearable coexistence or mutual torment, those choices alone remain." He scrutinized her, internal conflict evident. "Why does fear evade you?" "Should it? All others succumb to it." Aisha advanced nearer, discerning golden flecks amid his obsidian irises. "Fear defined my existence. Penury, familial loss, hopeless tomorrows. You merely embody a wounded individual. I recognize such scars intimately." His inhalation faltered. Proximity tempted contact, yet he retreated. "Good night, Aisha," he murmured huskily, withdrawing. Later, inspecting the table, she discovered the bowl emptied and cleansed, positioned neatly in the drainer. He had partaken of her novice culinary attempt. Progress, however minuscule. The ensuing days preceding the nuptials mirrored this tentative rhythm. Ji-hoon departed pre-dawn, returned tardily, yet incremental alterations emerged. Curt notes materialized, logistical wedding details. Nothing effusive, yet communication nonetheless. The pantry acquired Kenyan staples after she casually mentioned homesick cravings to the housekeeper. Ugali flour, Nyama choma spices, Sukuma wiki greens imported expensively. Her chamber's stark lighting yielded to ambient lamps, softening the austerity. He extended overtures subtly, fostering comfort while upholding distance. Aisha countered by imprinting her essence indelibly. She broadcast music, Benga rhythms, Genja-tone beats, Afrobeat anthems, and soulful R&B, infusing the void with vitality. Culinary aromas wafted from the kitchen, pilau rice fused with Korean twists, Nyama wanazi stews simmered alongside kimchi. She reconfigured the salon furnishings, banishing showroom rigidity for intimate conversational clusters. Inch by inch, she territorialized the space. Wedding morn dawned with a petite box outside her door. Within, nestled a gold necklace bearing a soaring eagle pendant, symbolizing Kenyan resilience. Accompanying note read, "For fortitude." Aisha clasped it to her heart, unforeseen sentiment swelling. His inaugural personal gesture transcended contractual obligation, affirming her individuality. She fastened it, resolving never to remove it. The ceremony transpired in sterile formality within a discreet venue, absent guests save a translator and officiant intoning Korean formalities. Aisha donned the fitted hanbok-inspired gown, stylist securing her coils elegantly without eye contact. Ji-hoon stood resolute in tailored black, granite composure masking subtle hand tremors betraying nerves. Observing his unease mitigated her own anxiety. His facade cracked selectively. The officiant directed the bridal kiss. Ji-hoon hesitated, seeking her consent via gaze. Aisha nodded imperceptibly. He inclined, lips meeting hers for measured seconds, protocol observed, yet laden with latent electricity. Warmth lingered from his breath, a faint quiver in his palm at her waist. Retreating, his eyes betrayed disorientation. Post-ceremony, no festivities ensued. Documents signed, union formalized. Aisha anticipated his prompt vanishing, yet he addressed her. Obligations summon me, yet this evening, dine with me, here, solely us. The invitation startled. Agreed. He nodded curtly and exited. Aisha shed the gown, gazing cityward from her window. Wedded yet solitary, the paradox nearly elicited laughter. Nonetheless, his overture signified inception. She phoned her mother early dawn in Nairobi. How transpired it? Peculiar, frigid. Yet cruelty absents him, Mama. Damage defines him. Can coexistence with damage suffice? Aisha fingered the eagle necklace, recalling waist-touch tenderness, mirrored loneliness. Affirmative. Mutual mending seems feasible. Then sufficiency resides there presently, her mother soothed. Affection sprouts from unlikelier grounds. Evening brought Ji-hoon punctually at 7, uncharacteristically early, bearing gourmet carriers from elite establishments. Aisha selected a sapphire sheath dress, form-fitting and arm-bearing, embracing audacity. His doorway halt betrayed admiration, throat bobbing. Radiance suits you, he admitted involuntarily. Gratitude. She indicated the candle-lit table with fine china unearthed from storage. Minimal pretense elevates this to festivity. A near smile ghosted his lips. Provisions acquired. Korean, Japanese, African-inflected curries approximating your homeland. Thoughtfulness pierced her. Considerate indeed. They unpacked collaboratively in companionable quietude. Bulgogi, sashimi, yakitori, coconut-laced stews evoking Nairobi. Seated opposite, normalcy tentatively bloomed. Recount Kenya, Ji-hoon urged abruptly. Aisha blinked, startled. Which facets? All? Upbringing? Kin? Praised this existence. She narrated Nairobi's bustling markets teeming with masala aromas and haggling vendors, her father's booming anecdotes, maternal tenacity amid hardships. Brothers Jamal and Leo featured prominently, seaside shanties, dance aspirations curtailed by calamity. Ji-hoon absorbed intently, rendering her self-aware. Concluding, he pondered, "Sacrifices abound for you here. Yours mirror substantially," Aisha riposted. "Voluntary choice eluded you too. What forfeit? Opportunity for elective affection, not necessity-driven. You relinquished that procuring me." Harsh verity elicited his wince. "Perhaps worthiness evades me," he conceded softly. Aisha lowered utensils. "Why presume unworthiness?" Silence protracted. Discovery looms inevitably. Comprehension follows. "Test me," she pressed. He demurred. "Not this eve. Simplification prevails. Mere diners." She acquiesced, pivoting to levity. Culinary disparities, linguistic hurdles, equatorial versus temperate climes. Tension ebbed from his frame by meal's end. Clearing ensued jointly. He forestalled her. "My turn. Equity demands." Kitchen navigation synchronized fluidly. Expecting seclusion post-task, Ji-hoon lingered. Care for viewing? Film, perhaps? Aisha's pulse quickened. Willing. Couch distance vast initially, a subtitled K-drama unfolded. Ji-hoon elucidated nuances, voice thawing engagingly. Midway, fatigue prompted Aisha's shift. Her head nestled his shoulder unthinkingly. Rigidity seized him. Retreat instinctuated, yet his arm encircled tentatively, securing her. "Tolerable," she breathed. "More than," he rasped. Immobility persisted till credits, fragility cherished. Finale neared, he regarded her. Slumber calls. "Linger," she urged softly. Acquiescence followed, silence companionable, proximity electric. "Gratitude," Aisha whispered. For attempting. Supper? This? Arm constricted fractionally. For persistence. Flight precluded, she reminded. Credence grows, he marveled. Gratitude palpable. Separate chambers claimed them eventually. Aisha reclined, eagle pendant warm against skin, internal shift palpable. Viability dawned, fractured souls forging wholeness. Survival might evolve to thriving. The following morning infused Aisha with resolute determination. Invisibility held no appeal. She would compel acknowledgement, engagement, immersion in their intertwined reality. Donning a cobalt dress that clung to her silhouette and bared her shoulders, she embodied provocation over reticence. In the kitchen, she prepared breakfast, humming a Kikuyu lullaby her father once crooned, movements assured. A guard traversing the hall faltered, gaze fixating briefly. Aisha sustained the stare with poised serenity until he flushed and diverted, ears reddening. Message conveyed unequivocally. Later afternoon unveiled a neglected grand piano in an unexplored alcove, exquisite craftsmanship marred by dust veils. Curiosity piqued, whose instrument lingered unused. She settled upon the bench, fingers tentatively caressing ivories. Melody emerged falteringly. Disuse rusting precision, then instinct prevailed. A melancholic Swahili tune evoking coastal sunsets and lost aspirations. Immersion claimed an hour, sorrow transmuting through notes into catharsis. Unbeknownst, Ji-hoon had returned prematurely, arresting in the corridor transfixed by the haunting timbre, visage fracturing with unspoken reminiscence. Ceasing abruptly, she pivoted to emptiness. Atmosphere thickened palpably, presaging tempest. Evening found Ji-hoon forgoing office sanctuary, materializing kitchenward as Aisha steeped tea. Presence loomed tangible, deliberate. She ignored pointedly, navigating counters proprietarily, unyielding beneath scrutiny. "Your pianism impresses," he ventured finally. Aisha pivoted, feigning mild astonishment. Father's tutelage, jaw clenched visibly. Abstain post-dusk. Disruption ensues. Confrontationally, she squared. Household lacks definition. Solitary inhabitants plus phantom sentries. Elucidate your realm or perpetuate my furniture status. Proximity intensified perilously. Advance, then abrupt halt. Restraint manifesting as visceral strain. Confinement suits your room, he mandated, conviction faltering. Prisoner status demands explicit purchase, she riposted velvetly. Impact registered profoundly, composure shattered transiently. Abrupt departure ensued wordlessly. Aisha observed, adrenaline coursing. Boundary traversed. Intentional provocation yielded reaction beyond frost. Subsequent days steeped in taut quiescence. Aisha amplified insurgencies. Vivid saris and kaitanjis clashing penthouse neutrality. Silhouettes celebrating voluptuousness unapologetically. Nocturnal harmonies resonated defiantly. Corridors claimed proprietarily, every stride territorial. Ji-hoon's surveillance intensified, obsidian gaze smoldering, tracking fluidly whenever present. Mornings captured him doorway-framed, mesmerized by living-room vinyasas. Eye-lock prompted languid cat-cow undulations, witnessing knuckles blanching doorjamb. Precipitous slam resounding. Satisfaction bloomed, erosion accelerated daily. Gestures materialized post-escalation. Initial trifles. Swahili proverb anthology in English, pilipili mango chutney parcels. Lavender-infused throw blanket matching a offhand remark. Attentiveness confirmed. Evenings bore larger consignments. Curated novels echoing casual mentions. Bespoke journal inscribed with phonetic Korean-English lexicon. Penmanship meticulous. Sender unmistakable. Nocturnal scripting visualized. Bridging her acclamation. Indifference debunked, complexity reigned invaluable. Midnight heralded Ji-hoon's arrival. Aisha awaited salon poised, lexicon agape. App emulating enunciation. Threshold halt, briefcase dangling, dishevelment endearing. Eye contact. Gamsahamnida, articulated earnestly. Books, lexicon, appreciation. Visage illuminated transiently. Delight, yearning. Enunciation refines, Gently critiqued teasing inflection. Instruct then, parried invitingly. Internal skirmish evident. Capitulation drew him couch adjacent. Unprecedented intimacy. Proximity intoxicated. Sandalwood cologne, corporeal radiance. Emulate. Gamsa hamnida. Lip-watching flustered absurdly. Improved, affirmed, gaze lingering orally. Repetition ensued hourly, inadvertent brushes, electricizing ether. Motivation? Aisha probed. Aid despite distance? Distantiation undesired, confessed huskily. Imperative. Elucidate. Abrupt distancing. Desire endangers. Proximity erodes restraint indispensably. Erosion invited, countered boldly. Blaze ignited. Ignorance prevails. Illuminate terrors. Aisha, plea warning hybrid. Advancement, fatigue besets this tango. Repulsion via gifts, nocturnal seclusion. Shielding from reciprocity? Stride-bridged chasm, wall pinning ensued. Palms bracketing cranium. Respiration ragged, dominion fracturing. Comprehension absent? Rasped coarsely. Revelation withheld, deems me incapable. Forehead adjoined, lids sealing. Quadruple betrayals, murmured shamefully. Trust mirrored yours, departures fracturing universally. Palms cradled jawline tenderly. Distinctions define me. Distinction amplifies dread. Your egress devastates utterly. Aggression negated, vowed steadfastly. Admission mandatory, cessation of preemptive chastisement. Withdrawal permitted scrutiny, thumb caressing zygoma achingly. Kissing precipitates perpetuity. Perpetuity embraced, breathed resolutely. Cataclysm transpired, dominion pulverized. Lips collided ferociously. Desolation unleashing torrentially. Reciprocation fervent, nape encircled. Augmentation urged. Groan vibrated, palms waist anchoring possessively. Devouring deepened rawly. Gasping severance, disarray reigned, tresses tousled, lips abraded. Aisha, venerated reverently. No contrition, preempted swiftly. Inescapability defined it. Recession raking coiffure, comprehension paramount pre-escalation, rationale for flight. Proceed, assented, pulse thundering. Windowward migration, metropolis contemplating bay. Timbre constricted mortification. Anomaly afflicts Aisha. Endowment exceeds norms profoundly. Doctors termed macrophallus. 13 inches, commensurate girth. Bitter chuckle. Mira wept unveiled. Sujin braved futilely. Heirin preempted consummation. Minji denominated aberration. Woman wounding monstrosity. Ache assailed Aisha. Approach window side. Credulity in condemnations. Incontrovertible when unanimous recoil manifests, retorted acerbically. Intimacy invariably precipitates agony, trepidation. Contemplated alternate etiology, ventured cautiously. Their phobias, not inherent flaw. Patience, reciprocity, compatible consort alters paradigm. Tortured perusal. Inalterability haunts. Infliction upon you. Reciprocity? Challenged. Collaborative navigation, incremental discovery. Aisha. Raw supplication. Intimidation absence, affirmed categorically. Existential terror eclipses physiology, untouchable spousal isolation. Encirclement sudden, anchoring desperately, tresses nuzzling, thorax convulsing. Undeserved, whispered brokenly. Autonomy governs desert, chest murmured. Permit election. Prolonged anchorage, eventual disjunction, countenance englobed. Experimentation beckons, gradual mandate. Distress or surfeit prompts, immediate cessation. Vow tendered, pledged. Counter-vow solicited. Name it. Seclusion terminates. Presence mandates irrespective ripeness. Affirmative nod deliberate. Proximity challenges me profoundly, yet commitment binds. Sufficiency incarnate when assured. Inclination ensued languidly saccharine. Separation, foreheads conjoining. Tonight a joined slumber, Awakening proximate desired. Quarters, mine, consent permitting. Spatial immersion craved. Hand-clasped procession. Chamber simplicity astonished. Ebony pallets, ergonomic appointments. Behemoth bedding paramount. Personal relics. Maternal portraiture. Bilingual tomes, scuffed ledger. Her narrative, gestured photographically, countenance thawed. Matriarch, 5 years departed, carcinoma. Sympathy extended tactilely. Final unconditional beholder, confided subduedly. Demise propelled empire edification, presuming potency negates solitariness. Efficacy? Amplification echoed voids. Hand squeeze, solitude vanquished. Conviction burgeons, marveled wondrously. Preparatory rituals silently harmonious. Lenten shirt proffered, obsidian cotton thigh grazing. Bathroom emergence arrested respiration momentarily. Visage trailed inarticulately. Query, self-doubting. Perfection, monosyllabic. Bedward ascension, interstitial charge crackling. Lateral reclining, eventual spooning, waist embracing. Posterior adjacency unequivocal, potency palpably insistent. Empowerment surged matriarchally, rejection's victim yearned shatteringly. Aisha, neck groaned apologetic. No remorse, deliberately regressive. Impact celebrated. Constriction ensued, incendiary provocation. Conflagration courted, susurrated. Laughter grown hybrid. Demise imminent. Deferred nocturnally. Digit-laced abdominally. Nocturnal osculation tomorrow mandated. Affirmation shoulder-brushed. Slumber entwined Pacific. Sanctuary unprecedented for both. Dawn greeted Aisha to vigilant perusal. Tenderness unprecedented. Morning, gravel-voiced. Smile dawned. He curl dislodged lingeringly. Conferences impend. Vespertine excursion proposed. Ours exclusively. Locale. Sanctuary unencumbered. Sans escorts, commerce, impositions. Cardiac expansion. Eagerness profound. Forehead nasal labial progression unhurriedly promissory. Recession unveiled authentic grin. Maiden sighting. Anticipation mutual. Departure post-kiss. Aisha lingered bedding, lip caressing, pillow inhaling. Paradigm irrevocably transmuted. Compulsion metamorphosed volitional authenticity. Post-shower donning, Mrs. Kim's axiom resonated. Perception compelled, self-revision induced. Day suspended surrealistically. Lexicon perusals, phrase drills derailed by evetide reveries. Osculatory reprises, proximal intimacies, tenderness unveiled. Punctual sixfold homecoming, sapphire anticipation. Eagerness validated, threshold confirmed. Their private evening unfolded at a secluded Hanok tea house nestled in Bukchon Hanok village, far from the penthouse's sterile grandeur and Ji-hoon's shadowy empire. Lanterns cast a warm amber glow over tatami mats and low tables, the air scented with aged wood, jasmine tea and subtle incense. No guards shadowed them. Ji-hoon had insisted on this unencumbered interlude, his hand occasionally brushing Aisha's as they navigated cobblestone paths under star-pricked skies. Seated knee to knee in a private alcove, they sipped yulmu cha barley tea, the steam curling like whispered secrets. Conversation flowed freer than ever. Ji-hoon recounting childhood escapades in Busan's fishing markets, Aisha sharing Nairobi's Matatu rides pulsing with reggae and laughter. Laughter emerged genuinely from him, a rare timbre that unlocked something buoyant within her. As night deepened, his fingers traced her eagle necklace idly, eyes darkening with intent. "Return home?" he murmured, voice husky. Aisha nodded, pulse accelerating. The drive back hummed with anticipation, his free hand claiming hers over the gear shift. Penthouse entry dissolved into fervent reconnection. Garments shed unhurriedly in his chamber, illuminated softly by cityscape luminescence. Vulnerability peaked. Ji-hoon's confession lingered palpably. Aisha guided tenderly, communication paramount. Pauses for reassurance, adjustments attuned to her cues. Patience defined their union, lubrication ample, positions exploratory. His restraint heroic yet responsive to her encouragements. Climax arrived mutually shattering, not conquest, but symphony. Afterward, entwined, sweat-slicked, he buried face in her throat, tremors subsiding into awe. Unscathed? He verified hoarsely. Transcendent, she affirmed, kissing his temple. Slumber claimed them profoundly sated, barriers irrevocably dismantled. Morning sunlight filtered through blinds, awakening them to languid exploration anew. Breakfast improvised collaboratively, her ugali paired with his banchan, flavors melding symbolically. Ji-hoon's departure bore reluctance, forehead kiss prolonged, promise of evening resumption. Aisha savored solitude productively, Korean immersion via apps, physique maintenance through invigorating flows, culinary experiments fusing Kenyan-Korean palates. Gifts persisted, silk scarves evoking Maasai shuka patterns, bespoke teapots set for shared rituals. Surveillance softened, guards nodded deferentially, penthouse evolving into haven, weeks blurred into harmonious rhythm. Ji-hoon curtailed late returns, prioritizing vespertine arrivals for tandem dinners, cinematic evenings, promenade strolls in Namsan Tower's cable cars. Intimacy deepened organically, mornings initiating with tender unions, nights culminating passionately, trust compounding exponentially. Aisha's Swahili infused their lexicon. Asante post-gestures, nakupenda whispered mid-embrace. He reciprocated phonetically, accent endearing. Public debuts ensued discreetly. Galas where her arm looped his possessively, silencing whispers with poised elegance. Rumor mill churned, the Don's African bride not fleeing, but thriving. Tension erupted one crisp autumn afternoon in Gangnam's elite boutique district. Aisha browsed handbox for an upcoming charity event, eagle necklace gleaming, when a venomous voice sliced air. "So you're the latest charity case." Ex-wife Soo-jin materialized, Botox smooth features twisting disdainfully, flanked by sycophantic entourage. Tolerating the freak, masochist or mercenary? Laughter tinkled artificially. Aisha pivoted calmly, sizing the harpy. Freak? Envy ill-suits you, Soo-jin. Rejection stemmed from inadequacy, not anomaly. Gasps rippled. Soo-jin's facade cracked. He destroys women? Monstrous appendage, inhuman. Aisha advanced predatorily, voice steel-wrapped velvet. Monstrous defines your pettiness. Ji-hoon pleasures beyond your wildest fantasies. Endurance eluded your fragility. Entourage recoiled. Soo-jin flushed apoplectically. Slut dares defend abomination? Slap poised. Security intervened opportunely, but Aisha's glare pinned unyieldingly. Crawl back to irrelevance. He's mine eternally. Retreat hasty, humiliation trailed. Ji-hoon arrived post-incident, briefed comprehensively. Initial fury yielded to profound gratitude. Arms crushed her fiercely. Risked for me? Family defended, she clarified. Undying loyalty earned, he vowed, sealing with devouring kiss. That eve marked pinnacle intimacy, restraint abandoned judiciously, boundaries expanded consensually, ecstasy stratospheric. Post-bliss nestled, he confided empire intricacies, legitimate facades veiling underworld tendrils, rivals circling. Aisha absorbed unflinchingly. Partners comprehensively, she declared, strategy infusion welcome. Thus commenced her subtle integration, African network analyses bolstering expansions, Nairobi connections facilitating resource pipelines. Midway through their transformative journey, beasties, if this tale of defiance and desire grips you, smash that subscribe button now. We're chasing 1,000 subscribers to unlock more epic Afro-Korean sagas like Aisha's unyielding grip on the Don's heart. Drop in comments. What's the boldest stand you've taken for love? Share your fire. Let's ignite the chat. Seasons cycled. Pregnancy bloomed serendipitously. Ji-hoon's terror transmuted to reverence. Ultrasounds attended religiously. Cravings indulged extravagantly. Nyama choma flown fresh. Kimchi mandu fusion experiments. Daughter Arya arrived earthside amid Seoul's premier clinic. Lusty cry echoing triumph. Ji-hoon severed umbilical symbolically. tears unashamed. Perfection manifests, he breathed, cradling minuscule form. Aisha beamed exhaustedly. Our legacy initiates. Paternity leave unprecedented, nights rocked colicky infant collaboratively, days navigated parenthood's chaos with humor, Aria's hybrid beauty, ebony curls framing almond eyes, giggles trilling Swahili lullabies, captivated universally. Son Kai followed 2 years hence, boisterous from inception, inheriting father's intensity tempered by mother's warmth. Toddler escapades filled penthouse, marble tag marathons, piano duets mangling classics. Family excursions proliferated, Jeju Island beaches, where Kai chased waves, Aria collected shells. Kenyan safaris reuniting Aisha's brothers, now university-bound via remittances. Ji-hoon bonded avuncularly, funding scholarships bountifully. Maternal visits annual, Nairobi abode upgraded palatially. Empire legitimized progressively under dual stewardship. Ji-hoon's conglomerate diversified. Tech ventures, renewable energies, Pan-African trade corridors. Aisha spearheaded Nairobi-Seoul axis, coffee exports, textile imports, cultural exchanges fostering goodwill. Rivals neutralized strategically, not violently. Boardrooms supplanted back alleys. Whispers evolved, the Don domesticated invincible via matrimonial alchemy. Adolescence tested familial harmony, yet fortified bonds indestructibly. Aria, at 14, navigated identity flux, Korean schoolmates probing her exotic heritage, hormonal tempests clashing cultural expectations. Aisha mediated sagely, blending maternal intuition with Ji-hoon's disciplined counsel. Father-daughter piano sessions evolved into profound dialogues. Aria's compositions fused tagukmu rhythms with benga percussion, premiering at youth recitals to acclaim. Kai, 12, channeled vigor into taekwondo dojos and soccer pitches, Ji-hoon coaching sidelines vociferously. Sibling rivalries flared, toy wars, bedtime injustices, but resolved through communal dinners where laughter supplanted grudges. Vacations anchored unity, annual Masai Mara treks where Aria befriended lion cubs, Kai spearheaded mock safaris, Busan summer's surfing swells, devouring Hodeopbap under sunsets. Triumphs accumulated relentlessly. Aria, 18, matriculated Seoul National University pre-med, her thesis on cross-cultural obstetrics earning accolades. Kai, 16, captained national youth football, scouts circling European leagues. Brothers Jamal and Leo thrived Nairobi side. Jamal engineering whiz at Kenyatta University, Leo entrepreneurial prodigy, launching eco-tourism ventures funded patriarchally. Matriarchal pilgrimages rejoiced milestones, penthouse brimming multi-generational mirth. Ji-hoon's empire ascended stratospheric pinnacles. Conglomerate Kang Global dominated sectors, semiconductors revolutionizing AI, solar arrays powering African grids, logistics empires spanning Silk Road revivals. Aisha's visionary imprint indelible, Nairobi Innovation Hub birthing startups, Seoul Africa summits brokered billion-dollar pacts, rival syndicates capitulated or allied. The Don's legend mythologized, not as tyrant but titan tempered by love. Philanthropy flourished, orphanages blending Korean discipline with Kenyan communalism, scholarships democratizing opportunities, yet shadows lingered episodically. Aisha's fertility waned post-Kai, whispers of incompleteness surfaced covertly. Ji-hoon quashed ruthlessly, affirming duo sufficiency. Our progeny perfect, lineage eternal. Health scares punctuated, Ji-hoon's ulcer flare-ups from residual stress, Aisha's transient hypertension amid jet-lag marathons. Mutual nursing deepened vows, vulnerability valorized. Aria's romance ignited paternal paranoia anew. University beau, affable Chaebol heir endured gauntlets, lineage vetting, Nairobi gauntlet, surviving Matatu mayhem endeared eternally. Wedding fused traditions, Hanbok Kikoi fusion gowns, nuptials at Jeju Hanok overlooking ocean, guests toasting in Swahili Korean pidgin. Ji-hoon's toast cracked voice, from contractual cage to this bounty, gratitude eternal. Aisha's eyes glistened reciprocally. Kai's odyssey diverged adventurously. Post-graduation, he spurned corporate sinecure for Doctors Without Borders, deploying Congo clinics amid Ebola skirmishes. Paternal pride warred apprehension. Dispatch packages brimmed survival kits, encrypted sat phones. Aisha's nightly novenas blended ancestral prayers. Heroic dispatches, neonatal revivals, refugee triage, filled headlines. Kang Sion saves lives trending globally. Grandparenthood cascaded joyously. Arya birthed granddaughter Zuri first, ebony olive cherub inheriting eagle tenacity. Ji-hoon melted instantaneously, cooing mangled Swahili, Penthouse echoing infantile gurgles anew. Kai's union yielded twins, boy Zion, girl Nala, boisterous duo scaling furniture fortresses. Nairobi reunions overflowed, extended kin converging, barbecues roasting whole goats under acacia canopies. Decades etched maturity gracefully. Ji-hoon's hair silvered distinguishedly, frame leaner yet imposing. Aisha's coils grayed elegantly, curves softened voluptuously, eagle necklace perennial talisman. Penthouse evolved museum-like. Arya's awards, Kai's commendations, progeny portraits chronicling dynasty. Empire stewardship transitioned seamlessly. Arya ascended CEO, fusing maternal diplomacy with paternal acumen. Sustainable empires prioritizing equity. Kai directed philanthropic arm, UN ambassadorship mediating Africa-Eurasia conflicts. Jamal helmed East African ops, Leo green tech innovator. Legacy diversified dynastically impregnable. Challenges persisted tenaciously. Global recessions tested resilience. Aisha's Nairobi hub weathered droughts via innovative irrigation. Personal tempests, Arya's divorce navigated supportively. Kai's shrapnel wound from aid convoy ambush healed familial fortitude. Through tempests, spousal anchor held, anniversary Hanok retreats reigniting flames, whispers reaffirming Nakupenda Saranghe. Community burgeoned. Afro-Korean Stories TV flourished under their patronage, Aisha guest narrating occasionally, inspiring intercultural unions. Mentorship academies groomed hybrid leaders, testimonials echoing their saga. From fear to forever. Reflective evenings on Penthouse Terrace, cityscape sprawling subserviently, grandchildren clambering knees. Ji-hoon clasped Aisha's hand, eagle pendant glinting. Incredible odyssey. She leaned head nestling shoulder familiarly. Contract birth destiny. Gaze mutual, decades distilled. Enduring? Infinitely. Unison. Sunset years enveloped them in golden serenity, the penthouse a bastion of memories amid soul's ceaseless evolution. Ji-hoon, now in his 60s, commanded boardrooms with silver-maned authority, his once ironclad frame softened by time yet unbowed. Aisha, radiant in her 50s, orchestrated global initiatives with undiminished fire, her laughter still echoing through corridors once chilled by solitude. Grandchildren, Zuri's brood of 3 rambunctious explorers, Zion and Nala's twin terrors, transformed the space into a whirlwind of chaos and joy. Marble floors bore crayon murals. The grand piano resounded with off-key duets, and the kitchen brimmed with fusion feasts. Mandazi alongside Hoteok, Nyama Choma grilled on the terrace under twinkling lights. Annual pilgrimages to Nairobi anchored their roots. The upgraded family compound sprawled into a vibrant estate, where Jamal's engineering firm hummed with innovation and Leo's eco-lodges welcomed dignitaries. Reunions unfolded under baobab canopies, barbecues sizzling goat ribs, elders swapping tales in Swahili laced with Korean honorifics, children dashing between acacia groves chasing fireflies. Ji-hoon, once the aloof Don, bartered stories with Aisha's brothers over Tusker beers, his laughter booming genuinely. Aisha's mother, frail but fierce, cradled great-grandbabies, whispering blessings that bridged continents. Health's inexorable tide tested resilience. Ji-hoon's heart murmur necessitated stents, Aisha at his bedside reciting ancestral proverbs amid beeping monitors. Recuperation unfolded domestically, her nursing him ugali porridge, his retaliating with meticulously prepared samgyetang. Arya's corporate skirmishes, hostile takeovers repelled diplomatically, drew paternal strategies. Kai's UN mediations in volatile zones prompted maternal care packages brimming Kenyan teas and bulletproof vests disguised as gifts. Through infirmities and intrigues their pact endured. In sickness in empire, Jihun quipped during rehab walks, philanthropic legacies proliferated exponentially. The Kang Okello Foundation erected academies fusing taekwondo discipline with Kenyan storytelling circles, graduates populating C-suites and NGOs alike. Afro-Korean cultural festivals pulsed annually in Itaewon, hanboks swirling amid kaitenge prints, K-pop anthems remixed with benga beats. Aisha keynoted TED stages, her saga, From Contract to Cosmos, inspiring millions. Fear fled when love held firm. Jihun, reticent publicly, penned a memoir ghostwritten collaboratively, proceeds funding orphan hybrids worldwide. One crisp autumn eve, as leaves gilded Namsan slopes, Jihun orchestrated a private Hanok renewal of vows. No entourage, merely them, efficient and eagle necklace witness. Attired in sapphire hanbok echoing their wedding, Aisha pledged anew, from cargo to consort, eternally yours. His vow cracked emotionally. You tamed the untamable, gratitude boundless. Sealed with kiss decades deep, they danced under lanterns to a pianist, rendering their melody, her father's tune, evolved. Reflections crystallized during twilight terrace vigils. Cityscape bowed subserviently, skyscrapers twinkling like distant stars. Grandchildren scampered, Zuri's eldest scaling Jihun's lap for tales of the big scary Don who got soft. Aisha nestled shoulderward, hand interlaced familiarly. Recall that inaugural midnight? He reminisced. Your fury ignited everything. Your pain mirrored mine, she countered. Desperation forged diamonds. Gaze locked, timelines distilled. Regrets? None. You? Perfected providence. Legacy's torch passed fluidly. Arya helmed Kang Global into green revolutions, solar sails propelling African villages. Kai arbitrated peace accords, Nobel whispers circulating. Jamal engineered hyperloops linking Nairobi Seoul virtually. Leo's carbon capture tech scrubbed skies. Great-grandprogeny hybrid mosaics promised perpetuity. Ebony curls framing epicanthic folds. Tongues trilling pigeons polyglot. Final chapters beckoned gracefully. Jihun's empire semi-retired, advisory role savoring sunsets. Aisha curated memoirs, guest narrating Afro-Korean stories TV episodes that captivated anew. Community thrived, mentorship pods grooming intercultural lovers, testimonials echoing, held firm, like her. Beasties, as this epic concludes, if Aisha's unyielding love melted the Korean Don's frozen heart, join our family. Hit subscribe for more tales where defiance births dynasties. We're building a community of 1,000 dreamers. Your click unlocks endless sagas. In comments, share your held firm moments. What boundary did love shatter for you? What lesson lingers from their odyssey? Drop stories, cheers, lessons learned. Let's weave your threads into our tapestry. Like, share, and let's keep the fire burning. Epilogue unfurled in quiet majesty. The penthouse terrace a vantage over Seoul's eternal pulse. Grandchildren's laughter, mingling with distant traffic hums. Jihun and Aisha, silvered sentinels of their saga, reclined in rattan lounges, eagle necklace catching final sun rays. Zuri's eldest, a lanky teen named Jafari, perched cross-legged nearby, holographic tablet projecting family archives, holovids of Arya's CEO ascension, Kai's Nobel podium, Jamal's Hyperloop unveilings. Grandpa, tell the real story again, Jafari pleaded, the one where Grandma didn't run. Jihun's eyes twinkled, hand squeezing Aisha's. She held firm when all fled, but truth deeper, I ran from myself first. Flashback vignettes cascaded, that inaugural midnight confrontation, fury birthing vulnerability, boutique showdown where Aisha's steel silenced Sujin's venom, Arya's birth, his tears baptizing fatherhood, Nairobi reunions under baobabs, kinships forged across oceans. Aisha interjected softly, not mere endurance, choice daily renewed. Your pain met mine. Alchemy ensued. Jafari absorbed raptly, then dashed off chasing cousins, leaving elders to reminisce. Nightfall cloaked them companionably, city lights ignited like fireflies, mirroring inner constellations. Ji-hoon traced her palm lines. Contract scripted fate, ironically. Desperation's gift, Aisha affirmed. 4 fled, you anchored eternally. Silence pregnant then. More chapters? Infinite love, unison. Fade to legacy montage, Arya's boardrooms echoing paternal resolve, Kai's peace tables channeling maternal grace, great-grand progeny hybrid virtuosos, coders composing symphonies, diplomats dancing benga. Kang Okello imprimatur global, academies sprouting in Kibera slums and Jeju villages, festivals fusing Afro-K beats with trot anthems. Whispers persisted, the Don who found his queen. Final frame, them silhouetted against Metropolis, arms entwined, eagle soaring pendant. Text overlay, they all ran, but she held firm, a love story eternal.